Hello, it's Prince Easy, and um, let's get to it. The greatest haste in history, power movement, right? Now, these hidden hands are moving their wealth and whatever is attached to it from the west to the east, right? We can even see the effects of what's happening here in Africa, right? The West is not welcoming by intention, by design, right? If they were intelligent, they know that their philosophies would not be accepted here in Africa, but yet they still pursued those philosophies. Why? Because it was by design, right? It was obvious that we would not go along with their agendas. It was extremely obvious, and that should be alarming and should be a telltale sign that, okay, there's a baboonment going on here, right? And the baboonment is that in due time the East and the West will not seem different, okay? And that's when you know that the final battle is nearing, right? The issue is of today is we have a lot of idols, yeah? Idols, people who we hold in high regards, and we ignore what God has said, right? So the scripture said Israel, the true Israel, was destroyed, and the description of the destruction was that no rock was left on top of another rock. Okay? And not only that, we were spread all over the world, right? There are blacks in America, there are blacks in Asia, there are blacks over there in Russia, there are blacks everywhere. We were spread, yeah? Even in Japan, believe it or not. They have a long history with black people over there. This Geminiing of Israel, this copycat Israel, is by design. And it's up to you and the God you worship to discern. The issue is discernment here, right? It's the issue is discernment. You have supposed two Israels. One is false, one is a lie. The scripture says so. One is true, the other one is actually the synagogue of Satan. So what is happening over there in Congo? So apparently they gave those people 30 days of ceasefire, and during this ceasefire, these people continued to recapture areas. And I mean these people, I mean the rebels. And who was orchestrating this supposed ceasefire was the U.S., supposedly. Now the Wazalendos are doing the recapturing, and it's all because of metals. Like, it's unbelievable sometimes the decisions that people make. Okay, now let's re-educate ourselves. Okay, when they say ceasefire, from the NS perspective, they are regrouping, they are rearming, they are resupplying. So the condition is going to get worse this time when you engage them. They are going to be prepared because now they have gauged your power, your abilities, your strength, just because you gave them 30 days head start. So if it's about metals, then make it about metals. make places where they get these metals their targets and just protect the people. You have a job cut out for you guys, you know. It's an external issue. Most people are not what you call patriotic. They can be easily bought. That's the issue of this world today. People can be easily bought. They have no spine. They do not have a line that they would not cross for the sake of money, and you know, that's just the reality, you know. So yeah. Well, in the agendas, we have this habit of saying we're making progress without actually making any upgrade. There is progress and there is upgrade. These are two different things. Okay, our education systems need an upgrade. Okay, I'm not worried about how it's going to progress. It's going great. But it needs an upgrade. There's so much unnecessary stuff in there. And this stuff have been there since our forefathers, and none of us are actually honest with each other to actually have this conversation and say, okay, we need to rethink this, right? We as a whole attacked this subject and somehow we ended up not even using this knowledge in the long run in our professions, or rather we had to relearn to make it applicable. Then we would eventually agree that, yeah, we are just in school to waste time, to push the biological clock forward. It's a population control maneuver. And it's working perfectly. In tandem with the feminist movement, oh my goodness, it's successful. Extremely successful. Yeah, it is in people's minds these days that they wouldn't bear children unless they are done with their studies, right? Some of them masters, some of them, I know people who say these things, both men and women. Some of them degrees, some of them certificates. That's their, I don't know, thing they want to achieve before they choose to reproduce. That's apart from maintaining a partner to reproduce with. So, let's count the years. Yeah. Let's be honest with this. Yeah. Let's count the years. 6, 7 years primary. And then another 6. You start at what? 3 years old? I don't know, 5 or 6, I don't know. Class 1. And when you reach the university level, how old are you supposed to be? And then finishing university, after that, a couple years of actually establishing I don't know, a household, some independence. For most, they're stuck at that level. A lot of people are stuck on that level. And if they're lucky, then they have trouble making ends meet with the little salary they have. Just just more and more incentives not to reproduce. So I Like, I find it funny, like, people coming out here and questioning the public, why are people not reproducing? Are you serious? Have you looked at life, literally? Have you looked at life and how it is? And how everything is predetermined and pre-designed? Yeah. And some of you can agree with this, yeah. School is just to waste time. To waste time. And to kill talents. They're also doing a good job of that. Well, I was having one of those tiny ice cream thingies from Azam. The tiny ones, yeah? That come with a wooden spoon. And after I finished, I turned the packaging upside down to read where the packaging was from. Apparently, it was from the Emirates. And I was like, wow, so we could like make this? Or are we now just victims of the plastic and microplastic fear? Where they said they took productive juices from men, 25 men, and found microplastics in there. I double dare you to replicate this experimentation, and if you see the results come up. So I heard Abudi, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Abudi, yeah. It was outside Parliament. Can almost see it in my memory stock somewhere. Somewhere in Parliament, and he was wondering if he would be given a license to build a plastic, I don't know, manufacturing situation. Plastic is essential. I've been fighting for plastic for a long time. For a really long time. Okay, not only it's more recyclable than most of these, I don't know, recyclable materials that these people bring up today. The issue was disposal. This is why plastic is now seen as a problem, because its disposal and its chain back towards recycling was not efficient or non-existent even for some nations like ours here. You can't just pile up. Sooner or later that place is gonna fill up. So there is need the mechanism to reduce these landfills that we keep creating, yeah? To reduce the landfill. And that begins with separation of types of, in order for them to actually to make that a resource, they need to separate the plastics, the paper, the organics, and all of this. So it wasn't the plastic issue, it was the disposal issue of the actually people, how when they consume, how do they get rid of it, So that's something to think about, okay? He has shown the intention, and it seems that if you speak like that, he has the money, then make it possible. Make it possible. Haya, nani. Jumaa Aweso, yeah. Bro, we gotta start thinking about kuchimba mabwawa. mabwawa serious ya kawaida tu. Kwa natizama mabwawa ya Japan ni quite impressive. This wanavyo control flooding and what not. Ni quite impressive, lakini ile inahitaji hela sana, but that's not the point. Inaweza katumika kama control mafuriko, ndio kwamba yanachana maji yote to a certain place, which is actually more effective. Kwenye control flooding, right? Na kingine kuwa na water reservoirs. Water reservoirs for whole out of hapa Dava kuna udongo mzuri tu hapa, amini usiamini, mchawi mbolea tu. Kwa tunaweza tukapunguza utegemezi wa chakula vidogo vidogo kutoka mbali, right? So mabwawa najua ilikuwepo plani kitambo kweli, lakini yeah. Kwa mkimaliza kumwaga mabwawa ushajenga, kumaliza kujenga mabwawa kama ile niliona la wapi kuna jamaa wa sukari ile bwawa kubwa, ngagau, I don't know. Mawili makubwa, ndio na kesi hiyo mawili. Tangalia na uwezo wenu. Kina mabwawa lazima kwa ajili ya maji. Nahitaji vyanzo viongezeke na mvua ni nyingi. Juzi yenyewe hapa lango moja lilifunguliwa, swala la kuomba tu. Kwa hiyo jenga, sisi tunajaza basi. Okay, kwa muda wa kujaza tawataarifu jengeni. So let's move on. So niggas be trying to answer questions and stuff. They can give you tips to grow your channel and watch my passion pay off. And of course, Audiomack says that they're not using algorithms to curate what is trending. Wow. Okay, if you say so. These are the more interesting conversations, because if men speak about this, sometimes it comes off as, I don't know, bias or hostile. But men are simple creatures, really simple. They have corrupted the women. So these dating coaches are having trouble finding suitors for women. And their perspective is rather eye-opening, right? When women come to them with their issue of actually finding a partner, I don't know, because they have no time or no connections or whatever, right? So they go to these coaches, right? These professionals that connect, right? And over the years, the number of women going to their service has actually increased and the number of men decreased. Expectations, you know. expectations. And social media is another player, the third wheel in relationships. Yeah, people rather put up a WhatsApp status rather than tell you what they are feeling. Isn't that the truth? For both men and women. So we need to pipe down a little bit. We need to cool down the expectations. What men expect of women and what women expect of men. And if that does not happen, then yeah, something's gonna give, as it has. Right? It's an international crisis. We talked about that power movement, right? And China has picked up the pace faster than you can say yes, right? I can now safely say that China is a technological superpower right now. It's a technological superpower, able to produce and able to replicate. So this updated version, floating barrel, attachments, and of course that mug, you see how the bottom of it, for practical purposes, from the straight line from the barrel to the butt stock, straight line. So it's a good competitor to the M4 type, and they all suffer from both barrel wobble. So for the sake of our future, is this sustainable, right? So this is the app I use to record music sometimes, Okay, I'm not against YouTube, and when it comes to, I don't know, whatever policy they have, it's their company, they can do whatever they want. It's there to make money, right? But the question is it sustainable, right? So basically, if you are a normal user like myself, you are denied of all of these 5 features, yeah? Okay, and you have to like pay shilling that one over there per year in order to access these services, and that is 17% less in the discount, right? So is this how they pay themselves? Or the issue is what they need to actually have these services, things like servers and power have gotten more expensive, so they have to charge more, or are they just greedy? I don't know. Again, it's their app, they can do whatever they want with it. So yeah, just a little piece of information I wanted to share with you. See you when I see you. Prince Easy signing out. Bye.